If you like audiobooks or audio shows, check out a free trial of Audible. Just click the link in the description.
Welcome to MINDSHOCK. This is your host, Bruce McGuire.
And Maxwell Powers.
And today we are tackling one of the greatest questions in sports history. Who is the greatest boxer of all time on MINDSHOCK Sports? And who better than the one and only Maxwell Powers to dissect all of these all-time greats to determine who is the one who is superior, the one who stands above all others in the world of boxing. As always, if you enjoy the MindShock podcast, want to help support the podcast, you can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. You can also become a YouTube member right here on YouTube for access to exclusive streams and chats. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications, like and share Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Patreon. Patrons do get priority for case topic, logical analysis, co-podcaster requests. You could also be a guest on the podcast depending on your tier. Questions, comments, theories, thoughts, suggestions, rebuttals, debunkings of any kind, leave them in the comment section. All right. So this is actually going to be more of like a conversational form as opposed to a statistical and data point-by-point analysis of every single boxer. I might do that at a later point if there's interest. If you haven't checked out the basketball logical analysis, Michael Jordan versus LeBron James, make sure you check that out. That was a logical data point-by-point analysis. This is going to be more conversational. So Maxwell Powers, you're a longtime boxing fan.
I don't know that long, but I actually
Or did you forget how long? Did you forget how long of a fan you've been?
No, I got into boxing like really late. I mean, I watched the Tyson fights when I was younger because my uncles would watch it, so I would end up watching because they watch it. So so I saw that Mike Tyson reign, and then I lost touch with boxing for a while, and then I liked MMA for a little bit, and then one of the MMA guys that I know wrestled at the school that I went to, and he developed, like, I saw him on TV on UFC, so like he developed a lot of good boxing skills, so that got me into boxing. And then I had a friend who was into boxing, so we went to see the fights at the local sports bars in Buffalo Wild
So
Wings.
do you have? So let's do this right off the bat. Who would you name if you could only name a single boxer? Who would you name as the greatest boxer of all time?
So, well, I guess you're not saying records, so like I would go with Lomachenko. I guess like if you're talking just skills as you know for boxing.
All right, hold on. That's a good point. Let me lay the foundation here. So, as I mentioned on some of the other sports podcasts that I did, greatest versus best. So best means who would beat whom, whereas greatest would have to involve impact on the sport and career. So obviously, there are guys in every sport who are better, literally any sport, basketball, baseball, whatever. There are guys that if you pit them one on one, a guy could beat athlete A could beat athlete B, but athlete B might have way more titles, way longer career reign. So technically they would be greater, but they can't best athlete A. So athlete A would be the best. So in clarification, greatest would imply that they're not like a one-hit wonder that only competed one time, even if they are just that damn good and their skill set is better than everybody else's. Or again, in terms of the pound for pound, I guess we might as well touch upon it now because it's a really big thing in boxing. It originated from boxing, I believe. I think it originated from boxing and not wrestling. But if anybody knows, if there are any boxing and wrestling aficionados that know when the term was first used, I believe it was first used in boxing because you're saying Vasily Lomachenko, who is obviously, well, for people that know, he's in a lighter weight class than, let's say, Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali. However, if you let's say we have a time machine, because this is all theoretical, let's say we have a time machine. Prime Lomachenko versus Prime Muhammad Ali. Who wins?
And they're the same weight.
No. They're whatever weight they are in their prime. We're talking open
Oh,
weight. We're talking open weight boxing, baby. We're not talking career.
well, um, I think I think Lomachenko would win because I don't think Ali would be able to hit him.
Wow, interesting analysis there, Maxwell. Okay, what about Lomachenko versus Mike Tyson? Prime versus prime. Like we're
Oh
talking
God.
pre-prison Mike Tyson with Customato in his corner. We're talking undefeated Mike Tyson who basically knocked out absolutely everybody in the first round with a kind of speed and punching power that the boxing world has never seen at heavyweight.
Oh my God. That's a rough one because Mike Tyson would go after him. Um,
I mean,
but
okay,
he,
so for the
he's
people
still
that
he's
don't
still
know,
yeah.
Lomachenko's not that tiny. He's 5'7", but he is really light though. His main weight class is 134.
Yeah.
And Mike Tyson was small for a heavyweight, but he was still, well over 200. He was over 200 pounds. So, in terms of weight, and Mike Tyson's pure muscle. We're not talking, a flabby heavyweight. Mike Tyson is pure performance muscle, outweighing Lomachenko by it would be close to 100 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, Lomachenko wouldn't be able to do any damage. I mean, if heavyweights can't hurt Mike Tyson, I mean, Mike Tyson obviously with the peekaboo style. We're gonna dissect Mike Tyson in a moment. For people that can't get the inkling of who I'm gonna pick already, but Mike Tyson with his peekaboo style, he rarely got hit, but his neck is so thick, and he did so many neck strengthening exercises. Like in his prime, of course, like to knock him out. Like there have been a few heavyweights who have hit him flush. For people that have watched all the Mike Tyson fights, he has been hit flush. Not often, but in his prime, he was hit flush. He didn't even notice. Like, what's a 134-pound Lomachenko going to do to prime Mike Tyson? Now, the Ali debate that's a little bit more interesting because Ali wasn't known for
Well,
absolutely.
it could work this way where he can't hit Lomachenko and they get tired and they go through 12 rounds and then
You don't
it's
think
possible. It's possible, but
Mike?
I'm just
I
saying.
don't think it's possible. Mike Tyson throws six punch combinations. How is he not going to hit him?
I don't know. I think he would just back up.
Mike Tyson basically fought like a lightweight.
Yeah, he was good.
I mean, I don't think Lomachenko could last even a whole round against Tyson. I don't even know if he could last half a round at his size. Versus Ali, I mean, that's a little bit more interesting because Ali wasn't known for crippling punching power. I mean, that's more of George Foreman. What about Lomachenko versus George Foreman? How do you see that playing out? Because I mean, one punch from George Foreman, he might not be able to land it, but I mean, Lomachenko would be laid out by one punch from prime George Foreman.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have the weight advantage, and it's hard to do any damage with that much weight difference.
So
So
when we're talking,
it's
okay, so let's get a little bit more specific. So let's talk careers only. Let's open this up for careers only before we get into examining who would beat who in the ring with a time machine. But so career, you think Lomachenko has the best career with his record, factoring into the
uh,
greatest? Or are we talking skill set only and only in their own weight class? Like, what are we talking?
right now I'm thinking mostly like skills and defense and
In their own, so non-cross weight class. So in their own weight class.
yeah, that's how my brain is thinking. Like I know like now I have to hop into your world where they remain the same weight class and fighting each other. So I'm making that jump. So
Well, you don't have to. You can give your opinion first on within their own weight class, and then we can go across all weight class.
okay. Yeah. So I right now, in my opinion, I don't think I have an in-depth researched, you know, information on all the boxers, but
All right,
I
so
see
let's
Lomachenko. I see Lomachenko as like number one,
all right.
and then
Let's keep it within the same weight class. So prime Lomachenko versus prime Floyd Mayweather. You think Lomachenko's going to win?
well, who was the other one? Prime who?
Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, yeah, I would, uh, yeah,
Because a lot of
yeah.
people would disagree with you on that one.
Yeah, it's very Floyd Mayweather has a very unorthodox style. I don't know how
Well,
to make
yeah,
it.
I mean, especially his defense. I mean, his defense is
Yeah,
just amazing.
yeah.
So,
But
okay, let's so I'm not the biggest Lomachenko fan, but yeah, obviously he's an all-time great. What do you make of his cuz he's got two losses. One of them is a questionable split decision in his second to last fight against I mean his second fight ever against Salido is a split decision. And then the only other time he's lost is to Lopez unanimous decision in October 2020. Did you see that fight?
uh, is that the knockdown one? I know he lost twice, but
I didn't see the like I'm not the biggest Lomachenko fan, so I haven't seen it. So
uh,
his record. See, here's the problem with his record. He's only 16-2. So like,
yeah,
is that enough of a sample size?
yeah, that's a tough one.
Because you have Floyd May. I mean, you have like boxing, like MMA is also this is a big problem with MMA. Like in the newer era of MMA, you have guys winning championships with only like 10 fights. I mean, that's just such a small sample size.
Yeah,
In boxing, like most boxers have dozens and dozens of fights, and Lomachenko is already 34, and he only has 18 fights. That's kind of crazy, right?
yeah,
So So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like all the MindShock listeners out there, you can chime in with your opinions on the lighter weight guys. As far as the lighter weight guys, it's kind of hard to bet against Floyd Mayweather. I mean, the longevity, because even past his prime, I mean, he's still never lost.
yeah.
Have you followed Floyd's career?
Um, just of his later part, but I did go back to watch a lot of the highlights with wow, I forgot his name. He was really impressive when like saw his fights against other people, and then Floyd fought him. I forgot his name. It was
Oscar De La Hoya?
no before that.
Oscar De La Hoya is pretty much the only, I think that's the only questionable fight on Floyd Mayweather's resume. Where
Yeah, yeah, I actually did see that too.
some
I might
people
have seen the full fight too.
some people believe that that De La Hoya won that fight. I don't know how. If you watch it, I mean, clearly Mayweather is the superior fighter. Even if you want to nitpick some of the points, if you just take, watch. Obviously, it's round by round scoring, but if you look at the fight as a whole, I mean, I don't know. To me, it's kind of obvious that Mayweather is the more skilled fighter, even if he's not quite, even if his activity isn't what it could be, and he's mostly on the defensive. You could nitpick points, what you want, but in terms of who the better fighter is, I thought it was obvious.
Yeah.
Uh, are you a Manny Pacquiao fan?
Uh, I'm a boxing fan first. Like I, I think I'm a fan of all
I
these
thought you liked.
boxers. Like
I thought you talked about Pacquiao a
I,
number of times.
I did. I mean, I just like when let's say I watched the Manny versus Cotto. Like I, I was looking forward to see his skills more so than I would like to see like Cotto's skills because I just thought that Manny Pacquiao was gonna win that fight. So just based on I kind of like because I really didn't follow boxing that deeply, but like I kind of just judge it by the way they warm up, the way they hit the bag. So I kind of like look at that. So that's because that's all I had going, and then whatever highlights they show on TV or whatever, or on the
I was never really that big of a Pacquiao fan, just because to me he just came off really sloppy. Obviously, his tenacity, was amazing because he would just like
yeah,
overwhelm more skilled fighters just by
yeah,
pure force of will and activity because the guy literally never got tired.
yeah,
He's just like
yeah,
a machine. But I'm a fan of more technical boxing, so I was never really a big Pacquiao fan. But he's got quite a few losses. He's got 62 wins, 8 losses, but that's still to me Like, do you think that's more of a more impressive resume, 62-8 versus Lomachenko's 16-2?
Yeah, because he stayed in longer. Yeah, he stayed in like again, like I'm. I guess I know what you mean now, but like by the duration of the reign or whatever, because Lomachenko only like you know what's his record again?
He's
16 something.
16-2, so he only has
Yeah,
18 fights. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, he has to go on for like 20 more years or something.
And he's already 34.
Yeah, yeah. So it is impressive, definitely. Um,
All right, so the
yeah,
final point on Pacquiao, because a lot of people pick Pacquiao, they think Pacquiao is like one of the best of all time. Do you believe, like many people believe, that if he fought Mayweather a couple years earlier, he would have beat him?
um, wait, why Pacquiao? Because Pacquiao reached his peak before Mayweather. Is that what you're saying?
That's what a lot of boxing pundits argue.
Ah, I see.
I mean,
It's like that.
Pacquiao. I
That.
don't think it's. I don't think anybody's disputing that Pacquiao was past his prime for the Floyd Mayweather fight. It's just exactly how far past his prime. I don't think he was that far past his prime, but he was slightly
Yeah.
past. Slightly past.
Oh, now I remember now. Yeah, I remember a lot of talk about that. I remember. Yeah, yeah. I think he was. I think he turned. Did he turn 40 and then Floyd was like 37 or something like that?
He
Or
was 36 when he fought Floyd, but he had fought so many times. He was really, and his boxing style. I mean,
yeah, he was.
Pacquiao's prime was probably a couple years before that. So, but I mean, I don't think he was that far out of his prime though. I think he was still pretty close to his prime by the time he fought Mayweather. So,
But I think that's what. But I think that's what makes it impressive because he primed like for a longer period of time
then who?
for no for the average boxer
Oh,
because
yes, yes, yes. Especially considering his boxing style. Because with
yeah.
his
Oh
boxing
yeah, yeah.
style, usually boxers don't last that. I mean, he's still. I mean, he's won what 3 of his last 4. I mean, he lost his last fight, but he won the 3 before that,
Yeah.
and he's already that's in his 40s. And
Yeah.
so he did announce that. Oh, he did announce that he retired last year. I must have missed that. Pacquiao's retired, and he's apparently running for president of the Philippines.
Damn.
But anyway, some people believe he would have beat Mayweather a few years earlier. I don't think so. I think it would have been a slightly tougher fight, but Mayweather just doesn't do losing. So like, uh, I'm not in the camp of people that think that Pacquiao would have beat him. So okay, so for the lighter weights, you're going with Lomachenko.
Lomachenko. I'm thinking going. Yeah, Lomachenko and then Mayweather and then.
So you think Lomachenko would beat Mayweather prime versus prime?
Uh, yeah, I think so. I don't know. That's a tough one because I see because Mayweather is pretty vicious. I really don't know. It's hard. That's a tough one because
Well, I mean, we
yeah,
could definitely agree that Mayweather's more tested, because
yeah.
Lomachenko just doesn't have enough fights. I mean, regardless of how good he is, like he just doesn't have that many fights. What do you think of more of the old time guys like Sugar Ray Robinson?
Really good. There's two Sugar Rays, right? Is that
Yeah,
different from
There's
Leonard?
Sugar Ray Leonard. Yeah, the more modern era. But
Yeah.
so, do you want to guess what Sugar Ray Robinson's record was?
Is it in the hundreds? It's like 102 or something.
174-19. And
Wow.
he's only been knocked out one time. His other 19 out of his 19 losses, he only has one knockout loss, 18 decisions.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
But he had a
yeah.
total. He actually had a total of 201 fights. He had 6 draws and 2 no contests. So, I mean that's battle tested. See
Why,
that's enough.
let me ask you this: why is the past generation boxers have a longer duration of boxing matches
So I
versus
don't even know
modern?
necessarily you would say longer duration. They just fought more often in the same amount of years. But some of them did fight into their 40s. But like for example, Floyd fought. He fought Conor McGregor when he was 40. Sugar Ray Robinson, he fought until he was 44, but he simply fought way more times per year than all of these modern guys. See, I'll touch upon this. There's a theory. It's called de-evolution theory. I think we probably discussed it on some other podcast, where humans are becoming like the average human. So the top 1% of humans are becoming faster, stronger, smarter, setting records. But in terms of 99% of humans, in the 99% bracket, humans are becoming weaker, slower, and dumber. So the top 1% is becoming way better than the previous generations, but the rest of the 99% are becoming worse than the 99% of previous generations. So some would argue that the boxers of old time, like they used to do 100 round bare knuckle fights, like over
Yeah,
100,
yeah,
like 100 years ago.
that's crazy.
Most athletes today, they're too mentally and physically weak to be doing that. I mean, I don't want to say like the top echelons they probably could physically do it, but mentally they wouldn't even. There's a certain de-evolution taking place where athletes are just getting, I would call it, more and more spoiled. What would you call it?
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting.
So, in terms of all-time greats, many people put Sugar Ray Robinson ahead of even Floyd Mayweather.
I mean, I can see that because of the the number of matches, you know. It's wow, that's a big.
And he
It's
fought
a,
at one. He fought at 160. So, okay, let's touch upon some of the other old time guys. Let's move to heavyweight. So, Rocky Marciano, a lot of people rank him as one of the best of all time. He was a dock worker. This is just another guy. He's like a super tough guy. He's 49-0. Obviously, Floyd Mayweather wanted to beat that, and he did. Even though some people don't consider Conor McGregor a legitimate opponent.
yeah,
So, yeah, I mean, Rocky Marciano, excellent career, no losses, just a super tough dock worker who actually left people people used to not want to fight him ever again because he would, they'd be pissing blood after they fought him
damn.
because he hit him so hard. And this is just another example of just tough guy. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to argue Marciano is more athletic than Mike Tyson. I mean, it's not even close. He was just like a super, super tough guy. Now, according to Wikipedia, there's an interesting stat here. Marciano remains the only fighter to have stopped every opponent he ever faced for the world heavyweight title. So he went to a decision 0 times in heavyweight title fights. And he
Yeah.
shares with Joe Louis the highest knockout to win percentage in world heavyweight title fights at 85.71%. His career knockout to win percentage of 87.8% remains one of the highest in heavyweight boxing history. Joe Louis, another guy who some people consider one of the best of all time. And then, of course, Muhammad Ali, a lot of people pick him the best of all time. I never did. What are your thoughts on Ali?
Uh, hmm. I only saw highlights of his, and a lot of sometimes the documentaries come up, and I watch that. So I don't even know his record. What's his record?
So Ali's record, which a lot of people don't know, he had a number of losses. His record is 56-5. So he had one knockout loss, 4 decision losses. And he
Hmm.
only fought until age 39, just for comparison. So even though he had all these fights, he only fought until age 39. A lot of people don't really count his last 3 losses. Trevor Berbick, Larry Holmes, and Leon Spinks, who he lost to Spinks by a split decision, and then he beat him after that with a unanimous decision. Both fights occurred 1978. Then he lost to Holmes in 1980, and then he lost to Berbick in 81 in his last fight. But he also has losses to Ken Norton and Joe Frazier earlier in his career as well. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to put him as the best of all time. But he was definitely a gimmick guy with a lot of charisma, and he kind of brought trash talk into boxing.
Yeah,
But people give him credit for that, but he actually just copied it from pro wrestling. I mean, he literally copied pretty much all of his trash talk from pro wrestling.
Ah, he must have been a fan.
And well, you got to admire his stance on the Vietnam War, which is obviously, he deserves a lot of credit for that and not compromising his principles, getting stripped of the title, etc. That's all awesome, and his impact on the sport and the world cannot be disputed. But in terms of pure in the ring skills, like, call me crazy, but I was just never really that impressed. I mean, his strategy was great, especially against George Foreman, the rope-a-dope. I mean, that was all just brilliant strategy, but that's not necessarily, pure skill and athleticism and speed, technique, power. Like, in my opinion, prime versus prime, I mean, Mike Tyson, no contest. I think he would absolutely demolish Muhammad Ali. And, we'll get to Tyson in a moment, but I don't think can you imagine if Muhammad Ali tried the rope-a-dope on Tyson? He wouldn't be able to handle that kind of power and that kind of speed and six-punch combination.
Can you explain the rope-a-dope?
So the rope-a-dope, basically, George Foreman versus Muhammad Ali. Everybody thought Foreman was going to win because he's a power puncher. Muhammad Ali basically let George Foreman punch him until Foreman got so tired that he lost. So you've seen Rocky 3, right? Rocky 3. Yeah. So it's basically the same strategy where Ali just danced around, went against a rope, covered up, and he let George Foreman think he was going to knock him out by loading up on all his punches until he got exhausted, and then Muhammad Ali just took over. I mean, you can't Muhammad Ali had crazy toughness, really good strategy. I mean, you can't, just really great in those departments. But in terms of pure technical boxing skill and speed and power, I don't think he ranks at the top. And I don't even think it's close. But then again, I'm just a big-time Tyson fan. But back to the old-time greats, though. There was the famous Marciano versus Ali super fight. So basically, they actually boxed, and they used a computer simulation to determine who would win. So here's let me just read what the Wikipedia breakdown here. The super fight was a fictional boxing match between Rocky Marciano and Muhammad Ali, shot in 1969 and released in 1970. At the time, Ali and Marciano were the only undefeated heavyweight champions in history, and fans often debated who would win had they met in their primes. Ali and Marciano were filmed sparring for 75 one-minute rounds, producing several possible scenarios for a genuine fight, with the result claimed to have been determined using probability formulas entered into a computer. So in 1967, radio producer Murray Warner had the idea of determining the all-time great heavyweight champion of the world by placing boxing champions of different eras in a series of fantasy fights. Warner sent out a survey to 250 boxing experts and writers to help determine which boxers would be used in what would become a fantasy tournament. Hank Meyer, president and salesman with one other partner in SPS, was instrumental in setting this competition up and contended at the time that it was his idea. Warner picked the first round of fantasy matches to be Jack Dempsey versus gentleman Jim Corbett, John L. Sullivan versus Jim Braddock, Bob Fitzsimmons versus Jack Sharkey, Jim Jeffries versus Jersey Joe Walcott, Joe Louis versus Jess Willard, Max Baer versus Jack Johnson, Rocky Marciano versus Gene Tunney, and Muhammad Ali versus Max Schmeling. Punch-by-punch details of the boxers' records during their prime were entered into an NCR 315 computer. And this is definitely an old-time computer. So let's just do a quick aside on the NCR 315. It was released January 1962 by NCR, second-gen computer. All printed circuit boards used resistor-transistor logic, RTL, to create the various logic elements. It uses 12-bit slab memory structure using magnetic core memory. The instructions use a Mercury slab as either two 6-bit alphanumeric characters or as three 4-bit BCD digits. Basic memory is 5,000 slabs, 10,000 characters, or 15,000 decimal digits of handmade core memory, which is expandable to a maximum of 40,000 slabs, 80,000 characters, or 120,000 decimal digits in 4 refrigerator-size cabinets. The main processor includes 3 cabinets and a console section that houses the power supply, keyboard, output writer, an IBM electric typewriter, and a panel with lights that indicate the current status of the program counter, registers, arithmetic accumulator, and system errors. Input-output is by direct parallel connections to each type of peripheral through a 2-cable bundle with 1-inch thick cables. Some devices, like magnetic tape and the CRAM, are daisy-chained to allow multiple drives to be connected. The central processor, the 315 data processor, weighed about 1,325 pounds. So obviously this is, doesn't even hold a candle to the average smartphone today. Okay. So back to the super fight. This information was put into this NCR 315 computer. Also, their strengths, weaknesses, fighting styles, and patterns, and other factors and scenarios that the boxers could go through were converted into formulas. The NCR 315 with 20K of memory was supplied by SPS Systems Programming Services, an independent service bureau in Miami, Florida. The algorithms were supplied by an NCR mathematician, and programming was done in Fortran by an employee of SPS. Hank Meyer, president and salesman with one other partner in SPS, was instrumental in setting this competition up and contended at the time that it was his idea. The actual running of the software was done the night before each broadcast round of the computer championship and took approximately 45 minutes to run. The output was a formatted report containing a series of codes describing each punch. This was then written to magnetic tape. The tape was then manually transferred to a UNIVAC 1005 and printed. This took place in early 1968. The outcomes were then staged as radio plays with Warner and radio announcer Guy LeBeau as the commentators. The fantasy fights were broadcast worldwide. Even the boxers who were still alive at the time listened to the programs, and some of them participated as commentators. After the series of elimination rounds, the final fight was between Dempsey and Marciano. Marciano defeated Dempsey and was considered to be the all-time greatest heavyweight champion by the computer. Warner awarded the real Marciano a gold and diamond championship belt worth $10,000. After Ali lost a fantasy fight in one of the radio broadcasts, he filed a $1 million lawsuit against Warner for defamation of character. What do you think about that, Maxwell?
That's interesting.
That's all you got? So
That's
this
all
is
I
a
got.
computer. So a computer determined that Ali would lose. So he filed a $1 million lawsuit for defamation. But it wasn't really defamation because it was just a computer result. Anyway, continuing on here.
Was he criticized for that or what?
I don't know. Stating his anger at the elimination in the second round of Jim Jeffries, a boxer Ali had previously called, quote, history's clumsiest, most slow-footed heavyweight, end quote. The lawsuit was settled when Warner offered to pay Ali $10,000 while also getting his agreement to participate in a filmed version of a fantasy fight in which he would fight Marciano. Ali and Marciano agreed on the condition that they would also receive a cut of the film's profit. Marciano, whose last fight before retiring undefeated at 49-0 was 14 years prior, also agreed to participate with a similar deal. In preparation for the film, Rocky lost over 50 pounds and wore a toupee in order to look as he did in his prime. Both he and Ali were reported to be enthusiastic about meeting each other and getting back in the ring. The same formulas as the radio fantasy fights were used and entered into the NCR 315, with filming commencing February 1969 in a Miami studio. The two fighters sparred for between 70 and 75 rounds, exchanging mainly body blows and some headshots in between, which were later edited together according to the findings of the computer. Braddock, Lewis, Schmeling, Sharkey, and Walcott also recorded commentary to be used in the film. The final outcome would not be revealed until the release of the film on January 20th, 1970, shown in 1,500 theaters by video link in the United States, Canada, and throughout Europe. American and Canadian audiences were shown a version of Marciano knocking out Ali in the 13th round, as staged by the boxers, while European audiences were shown another ending in which Ali was depicted the winner after opening cuts on Marciano, also simulated. That's kind of weird, though. So Ali could possibly win by cuts, whereas Marciano could win by knockout. I mean, that's not quite even there in terms of possibilities. So
Wait,
what do
this was, you said this was in 70?
1970, yeah, January 20th, 1970.
I didn't know, like, these are pretty complicated AI stuff. Like,
I mean,
I don't
in
know.
they actually did it first in the 60s. In 1968, they did it with the other boxers.
Well, man, are they doing anything like that now? I
That's
mean, that's
actually a great question because I don't think so. I think it's just video game stuff where, the AI can theoretically determine, if you fight 10 times, it might be 5-5, it might be 8-2 or whatever. But it's not
that.
like, I mean, I don't know if you'd call that accurate. I don't know if there's anything specifically dealing with something like this where they're trying to, I mean, there's so many variables. It's like, I don't know.
I can see that working today. I mean, like really analyzing, the movements, like have the AI like
I mean,
study.
they do the motion cap like for video games. I mean, I don't know if you'd call that accurate though. But let's continue on here with the write up on the wiki here. In the U.S., the film grossed more than 2.5 mil from more than 1,000 theaters across North America and Europe. The film grossed 5 mil, 35 million adjusted for inflation from 1,500 theaters. 3 weeks after filming was completed, Marciano died in a plane crash on the eve of what would have been his 46th birthday. No feedback was recorded from him personally regarding the film, with the exception of Marciano's brother Peter, who claimed that upon Rocky being asked whether he would win in the fantasy fight, he was confident that he would win. Ali attended a screening of the film the night of the release. He immediately relaunched legal proceedings against Warner, again stating defamation of character, alleging the film's marketing had misled audiences worldwide to believe the fight was actual, while also stating any of the version of the film which depicted him losing was a result of him not taking the simulation seriously. Now, do you think he's just in his ego? Because, like, what do you think of that?
Yeah, he's definitely in his ego on that. I mean, he was known for that, really.
I mean,
Uh,
yeah, but he wasn't known for. I mean, he wasn't really known for kind of this level of like making excuses for losses, though. Like he was mostly just like flamboyant and showboating and super confident. But this is clearly not a real fight. So like I don't know. It's kind of weird. He also claimed American audiences were left angered by Marciano being depicted the winner and disputed whether the NCR 315 computer was used at all during or after filming. Ali later dropped the lawsuit upon discovering his depicted win in European theaters, while also having been made aware of the filmmaker's plans to destroy remaining prints of the film to prevent potential legal action. In a 1976 interview, Ali briefly recapped on the film, maintaining his ridicule of the style of filming and depicted outcomes. He, however, praised Marciano as a boxer, stating they left filming on good terms. Destruction of film prints and recovery. During the build-up to the film's release, concerns were held regarding Ali's ban from boxing being active at the time of the film's conceptualization, recording, and release, and were later fueled by allegations that marketing promotional work for the film did not clearly detail that the fight was fictional and that the outcome was decided by the NCR 315 computer, as well as opinions of boxing experts. Upon the film's release, believing audiences were misled to believe the fight was actual, and Ali threatening a second lawsuit upon Warner, the producers announced all film prints had been destroyed. Debate subsequently took place over the next 3 decades as to whether at least one print of film had survived. It was cited that many theaters had continued to play the film long after January 20th, 1970, and was also noted that the film had one airing on ABC's Wide World of Sports in 1970 and another on CBS Late Night in 1977, with many more broadcasts alleged throughout. Following an official discovery of a surviving print in 2005, the film was authorized for release and distribution. On December 27, 2005, the super fight Marciano vs. Ali was released on DVD and had been televised several times since. The DVD includes a documentary about the film, audio of the original Radio Fantasy fights, archival interviews with the fighters that were chosen, and other features. The super fight was featured in and inspired the plot of the 2006 film Rocky Balboa. Okay, so, obviously Marciano was, a big power puncher and, old time tough guy that, I don't know, what do you think of that, what do you think of that fight? And, who would be your pick as to who would win with a time machine, Prime versus Prime?
Ali versus
Marciano.
wait, who? Marciano. I would go Marciano. I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say if Ali was a little bit more powerful, I'd go with Ali. But I think if Marciano can withstand Ali, he would probably take him in the later rounds. But I don't know. He was such a power puncher, and the super fight. I mean, what's weird though? Like, if Ali truly didn't take the fight seriously, I think he might have. If you've watched the super fight, I don't know if we can claim that Ali didn't take it seriously because even 14 years after his last fight, he's clearly not in I don't know how much weight he lost. It said he lost a lot of weight, but he still doesn't really look in that great shape. And he still snuck Ali a couple times. So, I don't know. Prime Marciano maybe would beat him, but okay, so let's move into Mike Tyson. If you didn't figure it out already, Mike Tyson is my pick for the greatest boxer of all time. And that is somewhat factoring career because you almost have to split Tyson's career into two pieces, before prison and after prison. Before Customato died and after Customato died. Although, if you want to be more technical, with Kevin Rooney and Customato's original coaching team, because even without Customato, Tyson still never lost with Rooney in his corner. When he got rid of Rooney and his original team, that's when everything started going downhill, and that's that you can almost divide that into a different category. So, what's your opinion of Mike Tyson?
Definitely top 5 of all time.
I would argue Mike Tyson is the most explosive fighter of heavyweight of all time, and the best both offensively and defensively. I mean, there's really how many other heavyweights were stringing together 6-punch combos like a lightweight while having just absolutely incredible head movement. I mean, you watch the training footage. You know what's crazy too? Customato said we only got to see about 10% of Tyson's skill in the ring. If you watch his training footage, like a lot of people say, "Oh, that's nonsense," but if you watch his training footage, like I think I kind of believe that.
Yeah, I saw glimpses of it. I saw some training with the like young Tyson.
Here's where a lot of boxing fans are probably going to think MINDSHOCK is completely insane because I'm going to make a highly controversial statement right now. I'm going to state that even Mike Tyson at 15 or 16 years old with only a few years of boxing training under his belt, I think that version of Mike Tyson would probably beat just about any boxer in history. Part of that due to his physical talents, because Customato actually had to lie. Nobody believed that Tyson was like 15 or 16 when he started, his boxing. So Customato had to lie and say he was 18. So Mike Tyson was knocking out grown men boxers with like a decade of experience or more when he had just started boxing. There is no other boxer in history who can claim that.
Were they penalized for that, or
What do you mean?
for boxing him that young?
Well, how could they be penalized? Because Customato, his coach, lied and said he was 18, so they didn't know. He wrote down that he was 18.
Oh, I see. But like backtracking, I don't know. Maybe they.
I
I
mean,
guess
how is
not.
it their fault? They thought they were fighting an adult. I don't think any charges were ever brought because Tyson was knocking them out. Like, if Tyson was the one getting knocked out and hospitalized, there probably would have been charges brought, right? But Tyson was the one knocking them out. So, like, because, yeah, he was a minor. Like, yeah, it would have been pretty crazy if grown men were knocking out a 15-year-old, but, he was the one knocking them out. Because all of the criticisms against Tyson saying he didn't have like a great career, he had a pretty good career. He just, some people say that, he's kind of like a wasted talent or whatever because of what he could have been if he never got mixed up with Don King, the shadiest boxing promoter of all time, convicted murderer, et cetera, et cetera. And I mean, that's a great point, but I mean, he still had like a really good career regardless. I mean, 50-6 is his career. He only has 6 losses. And
Yeah.
he has 0 losses with Customato and Kevin Rooney coaching him. And it's not even close. Like nobody even really belonged in the ring with him. He had like what, four decisions before the Buster Douglas fight? Like, like this guy's just knocking everybody out in the first or second round, and it's not even close. Like his skill set was just so unbelievable. I mean, it's kind of weird. Everybody criticizes like post Don King Mike Tyson, saying he would have still lost to those guys, or that he ducked George Foreman. We're not going to get into all the specifics of that, but I believe there was evidence brought forth that George Foreman was the one who declined one of the fight offers, and then I think there might have been evidence that Tyson declined as well. So I think they both declined fights at different points in time. But either way, my pick is Tyson. Time machine. Anybody in their prime versus prime. I don't see how Tyson loses.
That's a good pick. I like Tyson.
I think he takes out Lomachenko in the first round. I don't think Floyd Mayweather can handle him. I don't think Ali can handle just his level of speed. I mean, Tyson was just on a whole nother level. Even if you want to argue that like single one super power punch that George Foreman could hit harder than Tyson, it doesn't matter because Tyson, even if Tyson is slightly less powerful, he's chaining together 6 punch combos and he's not going to get tired. And his defense is so incredible with that peekaboo style. How does Ali beat him?
Yeah, those are good points.
I don't see how anybody beats him. And now let's go to the Holyfield fight. Everybody likes to say, oh, Tyson's a scumbag for biting Holyfield's ear. You've watched the fight. I mean, how many times after getting headbutted is like, if Evander Holyfield wants to play the headbutt game, which he played with everybody, and he's cheating and headbutting, he can't complain when the other guy cheats. Now, sure, biting the ear is kind of extreme. Most guys just headbutt back. But like if Holyfield's breaking the rules that they agreed to, it's a contracted fight. There's a contract. They both sign the contract to follow the rules. Holyfield violates the contract. Tyson tells the ref like numerous times. The ref does nothing. Now Tyson, for whatever reason, he felt that he had no recourse other than to bite the ear because he got so frustrated with the headbutting. Personally, maybe I'm in the minority, but as soon as Holyfield violated the rules, how many headbutts were there? One of the headbutts was actually a jumping headbutt. That was one of the most blatant headbutts I've ever seen. You can see the ref clearly see the headbutt and do nothing. At that point, whatever happens to Holyfield, it's his own doing. Like I'm not going to fault Tyson for that.
Yeah, actually didn't even know that. That actually makes sense.
Oh, you didn't know that? No, there was like at least like 4 blatant headbutts before the ear bite, before biting the ear.
That makes sense because when Mayweather fought what's his name, Garcia, I think Garcia did some headbutting and like
Well,
I think that.
Holyfield is known for headbutt. Like his whole career, he was a very cheap fighter. That's why I'm not a Holyfield fan. I actually don't even think he was that skilled. He definitely had the size though, and he knew how to use it. And he knew how to sneak headbutts. He usually hid the headbutts, like he would do them so the ref wouldn't see it. But in the Tyson fight, there were some of the most blatant headbutt. Like it's not like the ref was not in an obscured angle. He had a clear angle, and one of the headbutts was actually a jumping headbutt.
I gotta see videos of that.
Yeah, at that point, I'm like, I can't feel sorry for Holyfield. Like, if you're gonna cheat, it's not like it was one accidental headbutt. If you're gonna blatantly cheat that many times, don't be surprised when the other guy answers in his own way. And Tyson actually talked about it. Like, Tyson, in his early life, for people that don't know, he was a criminal. He like robbed old ladies and did all these things. One of the reasons he liked boxing is because in the ring, like life was fair. In the ring, the referee made life fair, and Tyson can use his talents in a fair fight because the world's not fair. Like, there's criminals, there's people taking advantage of Tyson, of Tyson's family. Like, he had a rough upbringing and a rough life. In the ring, it's supposed to be fair, and Holyfield shattered that. And at that point, Tyson kind of just snapped because that was like the only real fair place in his life. And Holyfield violated that, and the ref did nothing about it. But yeah, Holyfield was a known headbutter. In all of his fights, he was one of the most blatant. I think you can find entire headbutt montages on YouTube of Holyfield.
Huh.
And then the Lennox Lewis fight. I mean, obviously, like Tyson's already 35, and Tyson's 35 is like other people's like 45. Because again, without Customato was like a father to him. So when he died, like, that really took a toll mentally. And then you had, should we get into the whole Tyson rape case? We might as well. This
If
is MINDSHOCK. Are you familiar with it? Like why he went to
Yeah,
prison?
I remember the events. Yeah.
Okay, so for people that haven't watched the court trial, that's the biggest sham. I'm actually going to do a MINDSHOCK episode on that. I'm going to do a true crime episode on that. If you want to join me for that, Maxwell, all the Maxwell fans will probably want you on for that one. But basically, they got some guy who, like Don King, it's almost like Don King wanted him to go to prison. It was really strange. Don King, like, had some kind of an attorney for Tyson that had, like, no experience with criminal law or something. It was really weird. And the whole trial, they actually didn't present any real evidence. They just kind of assumed Tyson was guilty because he's, like, this big, strong guy. And the woman accusing him, was like a slender beauty queen or whatever. They didn't actually, there was no, like, she willingly went up to his hotel room. So it's kind of like, I don't know how many situations can occur where that would happen, but in any case, like, that was one of the biggest shams. Now, the thing that people don't know about Tyson admitted every single crime he was ever guilty of, including some really messed up stuff. He admitted to beating up old ladies and stealing their purses. But he always maintained his innocence regarding that particular rape charge. So all of the things he admitted, like his drug charge, like he admitted everything. Like he's a really honest guy. It seems strange to me that he would admit all of these horrible and embarrassing crimes, but for whatever reason would not admit this if he was truly guilty of it. So just using that baseline of Tyson always admitting when he was guilty, like in this one incident, it seems like it's a very real possibility that this was a false accusation. And if you watch the court trial, it's a complete sham. So even if he is guilty, based on that court trial, he shouldn't have been convicted. So that also took a toll on him as well mentally. And he was never really the same in the ring after that, and definitely not with Don King and Don King's management. So if we're talking prime boxers, Mike Tyson is my pick, hands down, for the most technically skilled boxer that ever lived.
That's a good pick, and looking forward to that case.
Yeah, so all the MINDSHOCK listeners out there, there you have it. That's my pick. I mean, obviously, a lot of people have their favorites. We'd be remiss not to mention Roy Jones Jr. for his domination in multiple weight classes. But I believe Mike Tyson won in their exhibition fight. Did you watch it?
I did.
I mean, I didn't even think it was that close. I thought I don't know why they ruled that a draw, but what'd you think of it?
I I just remember it was a close fight, but I didn't really. I don't know. I
No,
don't know how to judge
I
it.
didn't think it was that close, but I mean, people can call me biased, but I mean, obviously it wasn't prime versus prime or anything, but I mean, it's weird too. Like you watch Tyson now, I think Tyson could clean a lot of boxers' clocks right now. I mean,
Yeah, you could.
he's so cerebral. I mean, even though he's slower, even though he's less explosive, like I was really impressed against him against Jones. Like I was really impressed with Mike Tyson. I thought he would be a lot slower. Not obviously he's nowhere near his prime, but yeah, like a lot of I think he would give a lot of heavyweights problems like today. Like it's just crazy. Did you watch that one video of him with John Jones just playing around? Like he was so much like his body speed was amazing.
What year was that?
It was a couple years ago, maybe 3, 4 years ago, maybe five. I don't know. A couple years. There was just a video of them fooling around in the street, and Tyson was pretty fast. Like he circled around Jones, and like he didn't hit him for real, but he just like threw a bunch of punches. It's like that could have been real bad if he hit him for real. And John Jones was completely unprepared for that level of speed from this older guy at this point. But yeah, so that's
Yeah.
my pick. All the boxing fans out there, feel free to chime in with your picks. If you believe my assessment of Tyson is not correct, feel free to jump in on why. I'll mention one more little anecdotal story that a lot of people don't know. I think it was on the Tyson Talk forum where someone mentioned that because even going back maybe 10 years, maybe even 8 years, people were still talking about a Mike Tyson comeback, and it seemed like people like the common sentiment was that if Mike Tyson returned to Kevin Rooney's team, the original Customato style team with Kevin Rooney, who is basically the inheritor of Customato's gym and boxing style training methods, etc., that a Mike Tyson trained by Kevin Rooney with Kevin Rooney in his corner, he could be heavyweight champion even as late as just maybe like 8 years ago.
Wait, is Kevin Rooney still alive?
Yes.
Oh, so why didn't they continue together?
Well, after he went, so the after Customato died, like that really that took a toll on Tyson mentally. For people who haven't seen there's a lot of great Mike Tyson documentaries out there. The James Toback documentary, Tyson 2008, that's one of my favorites on Mike Tyson's really good documentary. And yeah, basically he just mentally after because Kevin Rooney's a lot younger than Customato. He was really young at the time, but he was just kind of like Customato's right hand man. So yeah, they kind of had a falling out per se, or more like Don King seduced him to the dark side. And then
I
he went to
gotcha.
prison and all that. There was just like, a chasm between them. But what a lot of people don't know, they actually had a meeting. I don't remember the year, but it was, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, 11 years ago, something like that. Not so long ago. And Tyson agreed verbally to come back to Kevin Rooney, be trained by Kevin Rooney to box for Kevin Rooney. And
Oh,
nobody knew that story. And then Kevin Rooney stated he felt like he shouldn't have let Tyson leave that room in negotiations because I think they hadn't seen each other for over 10 years. And Tyson felt bad about that whole situation, like almost like he was embarrassed, for their split and all that, because apparently Kevin Rooney didn't really do anything wrong. But and he kind of felt he shouldn't have let him leave the room because after he left the room again, like Don King talked him out of it or whatever, and that never actually materialized. But if it had, history could have been changed.
That sucks.
Yeah. I mean, let's give George Foreman a little bit of credit for his comeback and regaining the heavyweight title, which he actually has the record for the oldest heavyweight heavyweight champion.
Yeah, he was 45, was it? Or is it
He
41?
was
Forget.
okay, so he retired at 28 years old, and he didn't fight again until 38. And then he won the title at 42 at he lost to Evander Holyfield at 42 years old for the WBA, WBC and IBF heavyweight title, which he won the NABF title from Ron Lyle when he was 27. So then he fought his last fight in his 20s was when he lost a unanimous decision against Jimmy Young when he was 28 years old. And then he didn't fight again until he was 38, 10 years later, almost to the day, March 1777 to March 9th, 1987, where he beat Steve Zowski by TKO. And then he fought every year until he was that loss to Holyfield happened at 42, but he didn't retire. He continued fighting. And at 44 years old, he lost to Tommy Morrison for the vacant WBO heavyweight title. But then he beat Michael Moorer by KO November 5th, 1994, at 45 years and 299 days old. So almost 46 years old.
Damn, that's pretty impressive.
Then he won the vacant WBU heavyweight title and retained the IBF heavyweight title from Axel Schultz, April 22nd, 1995, at 46 years of age. Then he beat Crawford Grimsley by unanimous decision, November 3rd, 1996, to retain the WBU heavyweight title and winning the vacant IBA heavyweight title at 47 years of age and 298 days, so almost 48. Then he retained the WBU heavyweight title April 26, 97 against Lou Savarese at 48 years of age and 106 days. And then he lost to Shannon Briggs that same year, 48 years of age and 316 days. So yeah, he won the title at 45 years, almost 46, and continued to win at 46, 47, and 48 years of age. I mean, that's pretty impressive. That's
Yeah,
pretty impressive.
that's very impressive. So there's a lot of things like you can compare to, like let's say like Mayweather. He was 40 when he retired, I believe, and
Yeah. Well, it's
I don't know.
also
There's just a lot of
yeah, there's a lot. Mike Tyson's actually has the record for the youngest heavyweight champion. He was
yeah, I remember that. It's 20.
he was only 20 years, 4 months, and 22 days old, and that record he still retains. Which I mean, that's crazy. Like he was barely not a teenager. Like that's
Yeah.
just insane, man. And it's not like he
Oh,
started. What?
I was thinking. I was thinking what maybe what I'm thinking. What do you think of this? You think the generations past of boxers had longer careers because it didn't pay that much, so they had to box more to sustain their living.
Maybe not Tyson though. He was like the most well paid, and Floyd
Yeah,
Mayweather.
but that's what I mean though. Like,
Yeah.
see,
Oh, you mean
he
like 100
like
years ago?
yeah, like
Yeah.
people back
Yeah.
then didn't get paid well, so they had to fight more, like 100 fights, just to stay alive. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that could have a lot to do with it. Definitely. I'm gonna mention one more guy as one of the old timers, just because this is MindShock and we're pretty comprehensive. So Willie Pep, which some people consider one of the best of all time. So do you want to guess his record?
205.
229 and 11. Pretty close, man. Pretty close. He had a total of 241 fights. I mean,
What
that's
weight was
crazy.
that?
So he had a 26-year career. He died in 2006, age 84, born 1922. He was 5'5", fought at featherweight, 126 pounds. He was light. He also had, this is kind of crazy, he had a 73 fight undefeated streak over 5 years.
That's insane. How many rounds was that back then, you think?
Well, it wasn't that long ago. It was mostly during the 40s, so it was 10, it was either 10 or 15 rounds. Yeah, some of the fights were 10, some of them were 15. So yeah, a lot of crazy old timers with a lot of boxing matches. But yeah, all things considered, I don't have to think about it. My pick just based purely on skill, just in-ring ability is Mike Tyson. Prime Mike Tyson, time machine, pick any boxer you want. Boxing rules, Mike Tyson wins.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson thinks that Muhammad Ali was the best ever.
Yeah, he was
And
just
one,
being polite and humble.
yeah, I know. That's what I think
Do
too.
you know
But like,
Muhammad Ali? Do you know Muhammad Ali said that Tyson would win when he was asked?
oh yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't know
a
that.
lot of people don't. It was only once because there was a number of times wwhere Tyson was asked and he said Ali, but I mean he was definitely just being nice. I don't has that question ever been asked of a
I
Tyson?
well, I think so too because also he was a fanboy when he was growing up. So.
Well, yeah, I think he credited meeting Muhammad Ali at like a juvenile detention center as what got him interested in boxing. Because
Oh
Muhammad,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I remember
so
that. I
so
remember that. Yeah.
he could never be unbiased when it comes to Ali. Not just a bias, but being polite. Because a lot of times Ali was sitting next to him when they asked that question, and Ali is like an elder, and like, what is he supposed to say? Oh, I would have beat this old guy silly. Like what is he supposed to say in that situation without coming off as an idiot?
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's yeah, being polite and being like a fan when he was a kid. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it like from an analytical standpoint, like I don't see how Ali can win that fight because I mean Tyson is no like Tyson is so much faster and he strings so many more combinations and his defense is so much better than George Foreman's. Not to mention like the explosiveness. I mean, it's nowhere close, man. I don't even think that fight
But,
would be
but, but
close.
by the way, there's another like variable here that I think that is important to look at too is the evolution of training throughout the boxing uh sport. Like those who trained in 1900s is nothing compared to how we train now.
I
So
would argue against I would argue
because of the
against that.
knowledge.
I would argue
Well,
against that.
not just the training, but the knowledge and
And
technique.
I would argue the toughness of the old timers compensates for that more than compensate. Like I not only do I think it closes that gap, I think not only does it close the gap, but and then some. Where I don't think
Here's what I'm saying. Like, if you put Mike Tyson in 1920, would he be Mike Tyson in 19? Well, I think so too because he's talented, but it would never be he would be like let's say Mike Tyson was never born like in like that era, 70s or something.
all right, no, I
Um,
think okay, hold on. I'm gonna take a different angle to your point. I agree that Customato and like first of all, Customato and Mike Tyson themselves were students of boxing history. I mean, they watched old film on old boxers. So if they didn't have that ability, like let's forget the training method. If they were around in the 20s when there was no film on the boxers in the 1800s, they couldn't learn from all these other boxers, so they would definitely be more limited. So both Tyson and Customato,
yes.
they'd be a lot more limited. I still think his genetics are just so incredible. Like he was like built to be a boxer. Like look, just obviously
Yeah, I
Customato.
mean, yeah, I mean, you could pretty much like put, yeah, I mean, you could put Mike Tyson in like 1930, right? And just fight each other.
Yeah,
Like it's not a match.
Yeah, well, I agree with you that some level of technology, like even just the film on the older boxers, that did give them an advantage because they could learn all the strengths and weaknesses of all these different boxers from the previous era. That the previous era's boxers didn't have access to the technology because there was no film of the boxers that came two generations before that.
And
So
that's
yeah,
true, and that's true with every sport. I mean,
yeah.
like every sport is like that.
But I still think when it comes down to it, like the level of toughness of like Marciano, Marciano doesn't need to watch film on the older guys. He's a dock worker that's gonna punch until he dies, and like most people can't handle that. So like that's why you know what I mean. Like the level of toughness, like this is actually evident in MMA where you have these old guys that are like beating all these young guys. Like, if the training methods evolved that much, how come all these older guys are still beating these younger guys? Because the old guys have lost speed, they've lost, explosiveness. Like, they're just, and they're still beating a lot of the younger guys with access to all this cutting edge nutrition and technology for training methods. And it's crazy. You see that in a number of sports too, where old timers have beaten younger athletes in different sports. So I never bought that evolution in training, even though it's true. I don't think it's enough to bridge that gap of just a certain level of genetics and a certain level of mental toughness. That it's just the average person is just not mentally tough these days. Even athletes, they're like kind of spoiled, like they're pampered and spoiled. Like even MMA fighters today, they fight like once or twice a year. The MMA fighters of previous generations sometimes they'd fight like four times a night. So I think that
with no weight classes.
yeah, no weight class. Sometimes no round, like just one unlimited round. I mean,
Oh
it's crazy.
yeah, that's how it was. There was no rounds. It was just like
Yeah,
one round.
it's just
Actually, there was
crazy.
no round ever. It was just like whoever gets knocked out or
Yeah,
submits.
whoever gets finished. Yeah, and so it's crazy. And same thing with boxing. Like boxing over 100 years ago, I don't think it was 100 rounds per se. I think it was however many rounds until a knockout, which sometimes took over 100 rounds. And some of that was bare knuckle, like way back in the day. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Mind Shock listeners can chime in. There's always a different breed of athlete that can overcome those differences, even though those are true. I think if you take the absolute average athlete, like 100 years ago, and an average athlete from today, the improved technology and training methods might make the difference. Is that a better way to put it? Average
Yeah,
versus average.
yeah, definitely. I mean, it makes a difference. It makes a difference in
Because the anomalies mess everything up. Where if you take the best of a previous
yeah.
generation, again,
Here's another interesting like thing to think about too. Like put all the boxers of the past, put them in the future, and have them trained in the future. That would knock everybody out. Like Marciano would
yeah,
be like
that's crazy, man.
like imagine Marciano training like
Wow, that's crazy.
2012.
You know what's weird though? You know what's weird though? You know how like people say you're the sum of your experiences? If you did that though, what kind like would have to make a bigger caveat. Marciano would have to be transported to the future for training only and then transported back to live the tough life of a dock worker in order to maintain the mentality.
Oh,
Because
I see
if
what you
you
mean. Because like a
yeah,
lot of the toughness training
yeah,
is
because
like
if
kind
you
of like
only yeah, if you don't if he's living in modern easy times in this like just an era of convenience where there's no way to develop mental toughness, all of the advanced training is not going to translate as well. Whereas if he gets to live his life back in the day and he only gets transported for the future to take advantage of the training methods, and then he gets transported back.
yeah, he would be the best of all time.
Yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you'd have to make that comparison. Same thing with Tyson. Like if let's say 100 or 200 years from now, there's all these improved training methods for boxing and nutrition and everything, you'd still have to transport Mike Tyson back because if you give Mike Tyson an easy life, is he gonna have that mental toughness? Or I mean, I think Customato needs to get the credit too because he kind of brainwashed Mike Tyson into being so good. Because and hearing Mike Tyson talk about it, even in the 2008 Toback documentary, Customato was constantly whispering in his ear, "You're the greatest of all time." He brainwashed him so much, but it was kind of true. You know, it wasn't like a negative brainwashing; it was like a positive brainwashing to give him that confidence. So, yeah, I mean, and it's weird too because Tyson, by his own admission, supposedly he was mentally weak, which is why Customato had to brainwash him because he had all the physical tools, but mentally he had a lot of doubt. And he was crying before fights and stuff. Did you watch that documentary, the Toback documentary?
I saw one of the documents, but it was a long time ago. Are there any new ones?
I
What's the
think
newest
there's
one?
one. I think there's a new one from last year. I don't even know if I've seen it, and I'm a big Tyson fan. So, all right, well, there you have it. So my pick is Tyson. Your pick is Lomachenko. Is that still true after this entire podcast?
Well, you made some good points too. But I don't know. But you still pick Tyson over if they're the same weight class, right?
Well, yeah, I don't think I don't think it matters. Well, what do you mean? You mean Lomachenko inflated or Tyson deflated?
Deflated or both. I don't know. Or beat in the middle. I don't care. Just
Well, that's a big difference for both because Tyson deflated would also remove a lot of his power. If you
yeah.
meet in the middle, I'm picking Tyson because if you're going to only deplete his power slightly, then he would still win. Well, I think the peak. Yeah, he doesn't get enough credit for his defense. Like Floyd Mayweather, justly. I see a lot of people say Floyd Mayweather's overrated. I don't think he's overrated. I think he's relatively accurately rated for his ability. Right, like his defensive ability is incredible.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yes, but Tyson doesn't get credit for his defensive ability. Like his head movement, he has incredible head movement while moving forward and attacking. So you can't hit him while he's hitting you while moving forward. See, Mayweather doesn't really do that moving forward. He does that moving backward like most boxers. But Tyson was good enough to do that moving forward. I've actually never really seen any other boxer do that as good as Tyson. With defensive head movement while moving forward with six punch combination. So he would still have that even if you removed some of his weight. So if they meet in the middle, yeah, Tyson. If you deflate Tyson all the way down to like 126 pounds, I don't know. That's an interesting question. But that's not really fair, right? Like they're whatever weight they are. Like that's what we're talking about. So you just put the guys in the ring at whatever weight they are. Who's gonna win? My pick is Tyson.
Yeah, definitely. Of course.
You agree with me? You picked Tyson also?
Yeah. Well, he's like twice his size. I don't know.
Although I actually don't have an answer between Lomachenko and Ali. Like, cause you pick Lomachenko over Ali, right? Open weight.
Um. I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have an answer there. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think I would pick Marciano over Lomachenko though, because Lomachenko is pretty light.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about
here's
that.
here's a fun one. What if you threw Mayweather in with Marciano? Time machine, prime versus prime. They're whatever weight they are naturally. That's a tough one right there. I don't know if Floyd could handle that kind of punching power because he relies on taking a certain amount of punches, like not flush to the head, but just in general to the body. He takes some body shots. I don't know if he could handle those Marciano body shots.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
All right. Well, that's it for our boxing podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed another edition of MindShock Sports. We'll be doing more sports podcasts as well, particularly in combat sports. If you enjoy the podcast, want to help support the podcast, you can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. You can also become a YouTube member right here on YouTube for access to exclusive streams and chats. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like and share Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Patreon. Questions, comments, theories, thoughts, suggestions, rebuttals, debunkings of any kind, leave them in the comment section. This is Bruce McGuire signing off.
And Maxwell Powers.
We'll catch you guys next time.